Welcome back, y'all. This is the Bluechip Breakdown, and I'm your host, Bull. We're going to go through a few offensive clips from Tennessee versus Arkansas. We'll kind of talk about Tennessee's offensive scheme. What could we have done better from a coaching perspective? And also, what could the players have done better? Nico, pass protection, wide receivers, all that good stuff. And of course, we will be kind of breaking down what Arkansas is doing on defense. So let's start off with that. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So let's talk about what Arkansas is doing on defense with the first play of the game for Tennessee on offense. These guys right here are going to be down linemen, okay? So Arkansas has 3 down linemen. They're going to have 2 linebackers, and they're going to have 6 secondary players. This is a 3-2-6. This is a form of the dime. This is going to be more about trying to stop passes. You've got some really fast athletes, but it's not going to be as good versus stopping run plays. So I just want to put that out there. You're going to see a whole lot of that throughout this film. Now, this is as far as the pass coverage. We're going to see a cover 4, and we're also going to see a whole lot of this from Arkansas throughout all the clips that we will be looking at today. So on the first play, what we're going to have on offense for Tennessee is, I believe that Squirrel White is going to come on over in motion. So he's going to get on up out of here. We're going to have Nico kind of sprint out this way. We're going to have D. Samp come on out to the flats, and we're going to run a deep comeback. So this play is going to be open, and I love this. Why do I love it? Because it is a wrinkle. It's not just the same old straight up and down stuff that Tennessee has been showing, right? So we see at this point, boom, okay. We can already, we're already starting to see that this wide receiver, he's about to get open because this cornerback, he's already turned his back. He's running way up the field in cover 4. He wants to stay on top of this route. So it was a very good play call, I would say by Coach Heupel to start this game off. It's there. We should have gotten off to a really good rhythm. That should have been a big chunk play. Looks like it's about 15, 16 yards. But the problem with this is it's going to get called back because they're saying that we have a guy down the field. And we'll kind of go back to that because I think that was ticky-tack. I want to show you who they called it on. It's going to be on our left guard, Andre Carrick. They said that he gets too far down the field. So just pay attention to him this time around as we're going through. And you tell me, is this too far down the field? Now, offensive lineman can kind of get down the field a little bit. He only gets up the field about 2 or 3 yards. And he's on the backside of this play. How does this get called? He had nothing to do with that play. I mean, there was no threat that he was going out for a route or anything like that. So we're already kind of seeing, I guess it's a little bit of foreshadowing for how this game is going to go for Tennessee. But I'll just play it all the way through for everyone to see again. But, I love this play call. I love it. It just didn't work because the penalties killed us really throughout this entire game. 3rd and 10 on this play, and it's going to be another passing play. All the plays that we'll be looking at today will be passing plays, just to let y'all know real quick. So what we're going to be doing is, going up against another cover 4, like I told you, it's going to be a whole lot of that. So the problem here is this guy's going to come run up the field and just kind of start to block. Nico's going to be looking to these wide receivers, but it's going to kind of be more of the same. He's coming up to block. He's going to run like a little fade, but no one's really, it looks like we're confused as to what to do on the outside. So we will let this thing roll so that y'all can see what's happening. So boom, at this point, you can tell Nico is looking to his left, right? He's looking over here, and what the heck is everyone doing? There was some sort of a miscommunication. This happened several times throughout this game. It can't happen anymore. And so, Nico just tries to make something happen. We're going to watch it again and pay attention to what the offensive line did as well. So we'll be starting from our left to the right here. John Campbell, this guy's going to try to do like a little spin move. He kind of falls down, but it does make it feel like Nico's got some pressure coming. And then over here, man, we've got Big Lance Hurd and we've got Miles Kittelman on this play. And just Lance Hurd, he had a really, really bad game. Doesn't get a good strong punch at all. I kind of felt like Miles Kittelman had pushed Lance off of him at first. I don't know how realistic that is. Maybe it's just a little bit more of Lance being out of shape. Look at that. That pass set was awful. Just the whole thing was awful. So Nico's got to kind of try to find a soft spot to land at. That just, from top to bottom, that play was just busted. 2nd and 7 on our next drive. This is going to be another 3-step drop, very similar to what we saw on the previous play. I don't know if I had mentioned that or not, but on the 3-step drops, all it means is the ball is supposed to be coming out of the quarterback's hands very, very quickly. So it's going to be some shorter routes. Offensive line knows, hey, we don't have to, block for as long. Just try to keep people's hands down, things like that. But that is important for me to mention. So on this one, 3-step drops, it's going to be a hitch right here. It's going to be a hitch from the tight end right there. It's going to be a dig right here. And it's going to be cover 4 yet again from Arkansas. So we will let this thing roll. And you can see that first and foremost, a little bit too much pushback, in my opinion, especially on a double team, right? We got 2 people blocking right there. That's Sprague and it's John Campbell. That's just not going to cut it. He should not be getting any sort of move back at all inside of the pocket. But, this is what does happen whenever Nico has the time just to kind of get the passes off. I mean, he can be accurate. And again, man, the pocket wasn't perfect, but I don't want to paint this picture that, hey, Nico is some scrub or something, because he's definitely not overrated. He's very, very good. He just had a bad game last night, and, we'll see it as we go through the rest of this film. But that was a good pass by Nico. And, we can watch it again from this angle. And, you can see, yeah, I mean, the pocket was clean. The ball's in the right spot, and we get 5 or 6 yards on that play. Fast forward into the second quarter with this one. What we're going to have up front, well, look, first and foremost, Arkansas is going to be playing another cover 4. So what we're going to see up front, these 3, they're all going to come. And this guy's going to simulate that he is going to come. He's going to end up dropping back. This guy comes. So what happens with our front, and, we'll probably look at it from a different angle, but tight end kind of comes out. We're going to have a guy that actually comes open right here on a double move. We talked a whole lot about that. But, with our front, both of our guards just kind of, they're getting pushed back, and Sprags absolutely gets whipped on this. We're going to let it go, though. Nico just does not have the time. And boom, if he does have the time, like we had talked about, this guy, that's 6, because you can throw this ball right there. That is 6 points all day long. That should be 6. So this is going to be one that we missed, but we could not get to it because of the pass protection. You can see that Nico takes a sack. And now we'll see it again from this angle. And pay attention to definitely Sprags. He did a really bad job. And I said that it was the guard. It's actually not Andre Carey. He kind of comes down. It's actually going to end up being Holden Staves, who comes on over here. He's going to get pushed back a lot. So that makes me feel a little bit better that it's more of a tight end getting pushed back like that. But at the same time, I mean, we've got to do a much, much, much better job of being able to protect, especially with Javonte Spraggins. Now we have a 3rd and 8. This is going to be a situation where Arkansas is playing man-to-man coverage. And what they're going to do up front is this guy's going to come. He's coming, everyone's kind of showing it, but these guys back off. I think he comes, and obviously he's going to be playing in man coverage. And it's just going to pretty much throw off Sprags. He's going to end up blocking air. We'll see it again from a different angle. But what hurts so much about this play, y'all, is this guy right here is going to come wide open. If we just could have picked this up, this is another touchdown that Tennessee ends up leaving on the board. So look at this right here. Boom, 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 boom. At this point, this should be 6. You throw this thing anywhere. Like, you could throw it about in this area just to be extra safe, because this will be the closest player. You throw it somewhere in here. That should be 6 points all day long. Just put enough air up under it. Let him go run and catch it. That should have been 6. But because we're not able to block, this is what happens. And I'm just going to kind of like go back through and let y'all see it again. And, we will kind of take a look from a different angle so that you can see how bad Javonte Spraggins looks. I mean, obviously we give up that sack. That's just not going to cut it. All right, so I'm going to start it right here because this guy's going to be out of the frame if I don't. So he's coming. I believe he's coming. Maybe he's coming, and then this one's coming. Then I think these 2 drop off, or maybe this guy drops off too. Either way, okay, the whole point is that watch Javonte Spraggins on this play, because that's really who we're talking about. Look at this. At this point, shouldn't you know something's up? You're not blocking a single solitary soul. Why don't you turn around and see what the heck is going on behind me? You can't just keep standing here. There's no other threats. I mean, like, look around, do something. He doesn't do it right here. And, just inside of my mind, that's just unacceptable. So you just leave your quarterback out to dry on a critical 3rd down play where we could have scored 6 at. And I go back to the coaching staff for this. That's on them. How are our guys not prepared for this sort of a blitz look? How are they this level of unprepared? Blocking air. That's just not going to cut it moving forward. 1st and 10 on the next drive. D-Sam just kind of motioned out. This is going to be, or it could be, a screen to him. These guys are going to block, but Nico's going to look to this side. He's going to look at these wide receivers. And, this guy kind of comes up and he's blocking. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's just kind of like slow walking it and just tries to work back to the middle. So this is a completely and totally busted play. Arkansas is only bringing 3. This is a play that we should have been able to really get something going. But because, man, like we just kind of talked about, well, obviously, first, Nico does look over here to the screen. It's blown up. So he tries to look back to this side. It's not there. So he just has to run. You know what I mean? And he just kind of he's just trying to make something out of nothing. This is happening too often. We've got to have some more wrinkles off of this stuff. People have got to be doing their job backside. I don't know if that's the case or not, y'all. I really don't, if they're not doing their job or what. But it does look like, obviously, if Nico's looking over here, he expected something to be going on. Nothing was going on. So we have to have a little bit more wrinkles to our offense to give Nico some more options. It can't just be one option, maybe two options. And if it ain't there, then hopefully you're gonna be okay. That's what I'm talking. That's what P and I have been talking about this whole week. 3rd and 6 on that same series. This is really good by Nico and by the offense. Everyone up here is going to be coming. We basically just got man up here. And so, everything is going to get picked up front, which is huge. And then Nico, he's not going to have a ton of time, but he's going to have enough just on a quick little 3-step drop, just to be able to kind of dump it off to, one of his hitch guys on a quick little hot route, which is important. Yeah. So it was the guy right there on the outside. So that's what Nico can do. Again, I don't ever want to paint the picture that Nico is some scrub or any of that. He's not. This is not easy to do. It looks a lot easier than it actually is. It's complicated, man. You got people all up in your face. You got to be able to throw this ball, be tough, and deliver it in a good spot. Now we have a first down. All right, very next play. This one's going to hurt because what's actually going to happen is Nico's going to kind of fumble this snap. And, the part that hurts about it is it's going to be cover 4 again from Arkansas, but this guy right here, I think he's going to come open. Looks like this safety, for whatever reason, he's really looking at the backfield, which, I mean, that happens a whole lot whenever teams run these types of defenses versus Tennessee's offense. But we'll just go ahead and kind of like let it roll. Boom. So Nico drops it. And yeah, I mean, that could be part of the reason that this guy's biting up, but I sincerely think that this probably would have been there either way, just because he's not getting enough leeway at this point. He's not backing up enough. This guy over here is still going to be occupied. So I think, and even if, like, let's just say, for example, if he kind of sticks with him, which I don't think that he would have, he's going to come open way on the outside of everything. So this could have been another big play that we just missed. I mean, it looks like we've got 2-on-1. One of those guys should have been open. So this is why, man, it is a game of inches. And, just having like little critical mistakes like this, something that's so simple, this is being able to, catch this daggone football. I mean, I'm proud of Nico for at least getting something. But yeah, I mean, stuff like this stings. It hurts. It hurts bad seeing this type of stuff. But we'll go on to the next play. 2nd and 3 on this play. This one hurts too, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. So this is kind of like a little fade right here. It's going to be one of those switch routes, which we love. But right here, man, we are going to be open. Okay. We're going to be wide open for a possible 6. And Nico's going to be kind of like staring down. I think these are both kind of like either comeback or kind of like in routes, whatever it is. But Nico kind of gets happy feet at this point. I mean, this is what happens whenever you start to hit quarterbacks early on. The pocket is actually clean. There's no reason for him to be running out. And even if he wasn't going to hit this touchdown right here, this guy's wide open. Just standing here and throw the football. So we definitely missed on that. Nico tries to kind of scramble out and throw, but of course it does end up getting batted down because you give the defense some time to, work back up on those comeback routes. The comeback routes is all about timing. You got to throw it like before they get to their break or as soon as they get to their break, just all based off of your arm strength. But Nico missed it, man. He missed a couple on this play for sure. 3rd and 3 on the next play. What we're going to be getting from Arkansas is going to be a cover 3. So he's dropping there. He's here. He's there. He's going to be kind of like playing in this area. He comes down and kind of plays in that area. So what's going to happen on this play is we're going to have 2 guys kind of going deep. But this guy right here, he's going to end up being wide open. This could have been another 6 points. And Arkansas up front, they're running a little stunt right here. Boom, boom. And John Campbell's guy, he's going to kind of push him back. And it's going to, he's going to get pressure on Nico. It's really unacceptable. But if we pick up the, little stunt if we could block better than this, I mean, we've got guys right here that are wide open. And of course, the ball looks like it's short because Nico's getting hit. But he could have easily thrown this thing into the end zone. And, Nico's got the arm talent to be able to do that. That would have been 6 points. So, again, man, we're just leaving points out there. And I will go back because I know that y'all like to, or, you might like to see it in full speed. So I'll just kind of like let it play in full speed and just talk about it. But, yeah, I mean, we've got to do a much better job. I mean, everyone else did a good job up front blocking. And, really the scheme wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Well, it wasn't great. There was a few plays. There was a few times when we did have the opportunity to capitalize. And it seems like we missed every single one of them. It was just a perfect storm, y'all. If we played Arkansas, I think 10 more times, we'd beat them 10 more times. I don't think that they would ever beat us ever again. Now we have a 3rd and 18, and Arkansas is going to be playing pretty much all their secondary pieces back at the sticks, just trying to keep everything in front of them. And what we're going to be doing on offense is like a little fade, almost like a wheel, Then we're going to have a dig right here. And actually, I believe that Nico's going to be eyeballing this fade route first. And then up top, we're going to have two deep comebacks. We're also going to have D-Samp just kind of coming on out of the backfield under that. So, I mean, Nico will have some options. Again, it's 3rd and 18. I think that they knew that this was 4-down territory. So as you can see, Nico, he's kind of like looking over to the left. But at this point, y'all, this is covered up. There's a guy underneath it. There's a guy over the top. This is just not going to happen. I think Nico wanted to get the full 18 on this play, but it just wasn't necessary. Just get what you can get. Because this guy right here on this dig, he's going to be open, right? So Nico's looking, throw it there. Like, what are you waiting on? Throw it right now. He's got the time. The pocket's clean up. Just throw that pass now. But Nico's going to kind of vacate out to his right. And yeah, I mean, D-Sam comes open right here. But that wasn't the optimal decision on that. You know what I mean? That was just if everything else kind of broke down, which it really didn't. And I mean, listen, give D-Sam credit for trying to get something extra out of that, for trying to get us to the 1st down marker. But I'm going to play the whole thing over. But yeah, I mean, Nico, he's got to be quicker. He's got to throw the football. There's something that Hendon Hooker was really good at, and you hate to try to, make Nico out to be a Hendon Hooker or anybody else, because Nico is Nico. But even still, good quarterbacks make decisions quickly, and Nico's got to get there. Now we have a 4th and 7. It looks like Arkansas is still going to be in quarters coverage. So what we're going to have down here at the bottom is he's going to be running off deep. We've got like a deep out and then another out kind of like up under that. So basically over here, we're just trying to overload this zone, but it's just not going to work. He's just going deep. So what we'll see on this is we're going to let it roll first and foremost. Nico, he actually has the time, but no one's open. Okay, we see that now. He's scrambling out. Keep in mind, y'all, this is 4th and 7. Look at all of this field that Nico could have ran to. Could have very, very easily, have gotten that 1st down with his legs, but he decides to throw it. We'll see it again from a different angle. All right, so now we can see it from this angle, and y'all can tell what's going on. Actually, on this play, it would have been called back anyway because they did call John Campbell for holding. I think that's kind of a ticky-tack foul. Yeah, his arms are outside of the man, but at the same time, that happens on every single play. Now, I think that holding is whenever there's a separation. That's when you should call holding. As long as the offensive lineman keeps the defense close to their chest, that should not be called holding. It just shouldn't be. And it's not like he took him all the way down to the ground. But so anyway, Nico had all that space to run, but just decides to make this throw. And I guess I could kind of understand it. I mean, not really. I mean, it's just run the ball here. Like it's 4th and 7. We need to have this. And this ball is, it's high. It's kind of to the outside. So yeah, I mean, Nico's just, he had a really, really tough game, y'all, and it's perfectly fine. I'm going to keep on saying it. Don't mean that he sucks, because Nico's very good. He just had a rough game. We expect for him to grow from this one. Now we're in the 2nd half, and I wanted to put this play in here just because I love this. Arkansas is going to be running a cover 3. And I don't know exactly if he goes back or if he goes back. Either way, it's cover 3. This is going to be a one-high look. Whether it's 3 or whether it's man, you got to be able to run routes like this deep crosser. Something that Arkansas ran very successfully versus Tennessee last night. We've got to keep on doing things like this. So, I am happy to see that, at least we're able to kind of start running some of these plays. And look at that, man. The pocket is there. Okay, everything's clean. And, I think that the ball was actually thrown in a good spot. We'll see it again from a different angle. All right, boom, right here. Y'all will be able to tell, right? Like on these crossing routes, boom. So, yeah, I mean, it's not in a perfect spot by any means. But at the same time, this probably should have been called something. I mean, we're getting held. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are getting held. And anytime people put their arms out like this, they're guilty. All right. That is a sure sign of someone being guilty of something. So yeah, he held. We're not getting any calls. And I'm not here just to, argue about the refs and all that type of stuff. Could the ball have been better? Sure, it could have. I mean, at the same time, the coverage was very, very tight. We could have run some more route combinations, but I just wanted to point this out because, yeah, I mean, we're kind of opening things up at this point and trying to do it, but we need to do that from the start of the game and throughout the entire game. Stop being so up and down with our route combinations. Fast forward into the next series, we have a 1st and 10. And what we're going to see right here is Nico's going to try to work the ball right here on this hitch. I actually think that it's there, but what Arkansas does on defense is, they're going to run like a little stunt right here, and everyone's coming. This guy right here, he comes a little bit later, but everybody comes. And the guy, this linebacker is the one that gets the main pressure. Miles Kitselman tries to slide across to block him, but you'll see he just kind of gets tossed to the side. So we'll go ahead and let this thing go. So boom, play action. And I mean, this right here, I mean, that does not look good, obviously, but you see that Nico's kind of, he's scrambling out. after that. Now, the thing about it, y'all, okay, and again, I'm not here to try to be hard on really anybody. I'm just, I'm just going to tell the truth. But right here on this hitch, watch right here, boom. Okay, so really at this point, Nico could have been throwing this. You know what I'm saying? Like you can start, and I mean, or maybe here, right? Like definitely by this time, the ball should have been coming out. So Nico's a little bit late. I think that he was paying too much attention to the pass rush. Maybe he's looking at this guy, but I mean, he's really not even in the way. I mean, you can throw that and complete it all day long. So Nico just holds on to the football too long right there. So that's a time when it looks like there's pressure and all that, which there was a little bit, but that's a three-step drop. The ball has got to come out on time. Nico did not do that enough in this game. Next play, we have a 2nd and 6. And this is one that does kind of make you sick because we're going to have a guy that ends up getting open deep. It might be him. It's one of these guys. And then the other one is going to come back on a dig. And, Nico's going to kind of come on out here. So we're going to have a like deep comeback right here, have a guy set up out here to block, and we're also going to come out here to the flats. So I'm going to let this thing roll because there's a lot for me to kind of explain. So boom, at this point, I can understand what Nico's doing. He's going to go to this guy. He's open. That's there. Now, the problem is he does slip out of his break. That's not on Nico. That's on this wide receiver. You can't be slipping in and out of your breaks. So, he's going to, at this point, he's throwing it. The slipping hasn't really started to happen yet. And then, this guy, he would have ended up coming open a little bit later. I mean, again, if it's there now, you throw it now. So it's really, I'm not putting this on Nico, so please don't take it that way. Also had this dig. That one was going to be coming open late. But the thing about it is we got 6 right here deep. So I think that these are the types of things that Tennessee will see on film and will say, okay, based off of these certain looks, maybe we try this. You know what I mean? Like maybe we look this way or that way. And, maybe we can get 6 out of it because, yeah, we need to be able to hit some more home runs versus looks like this. I mean, they're playing a 3-man front. This is a 3-2-6. So you got to find ways to capitalize on it. And if Tennessee starts to throw the football down the field for touchdowns on a dime, you know what I'm saying? Like on versus a dime defense, then yeah, man, it's gonna teams will be terrified of what this offense can do. So I'll just kind of like let the rest of this thing roll out, let y'all see it again in full speed. But obviously that pass ends up being incomplete. All right, now I just want to show y'all a couple of plays from the final drive versus Arkansas. Number one on this one, this is the one that ends up going really deep to Dante Thornton. And this is a good job by Nico, just kind of avoiding getting to the outside. But the biggest thing is going to be pay attention to what Lance Hurd does on this. I mean, this is how you know that he's either out of shape or he's hurting. Like, look at that. Okay, so that's pretty good. But then what? Is that all that it takes for him to get to the outside of you? And look at this lackadaisical effort. Again, man, I love all of our guys, but that ain't going to get it done. I mean, that's horrible. So Nico makes a play. He's got a guy wide open, or not really wide open, but he's got a guy down the field. This is a really good catch by Dante Thornton. We'll see it again from a different angle. All right, so now we can really watch what Lance Hurd does on this. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that really kind of makes you sick. I mean, just look at that. Okay, so that's pretty good, but wow. I mean, that is not good effort by any means. You know what I mean? And maybe that's how they coach it. I don't know. That just didn't look good. But hey, look, that was a really good throw and catch by Dante Thornton. At this point, we kind of felt like, hey, we might really have a shot to win this thing. Now we have a 1st and 10, but pay attention right here to Mouse Kittelman on a little out and up. He's actually going to be wide open, and I know that y'all saw this thing live. And Nico, I mean, man, he just missed it. It's like he got excited and he just missed it. So that's why, it is good to kind of have these moments, especially before we get into the playoffs. If we can make it to the playoffs, I still think that we will, but it's important to have them because, you can just learn from it. You can grow from it. We need for Nico to be able to hit these on a more consistent basis. And I think that he will moving forward. Hopefully we won't get into these types of games where it's this close. But yeah, I mean, this would have made a huge, huge difference because I think at this point there's like 20 seconds. At the same time, coming off that last play, Hype should have called a timeout, would have had a whole lot more time to operate with. I don't know why he didn't, but that's neither here nor there at this point. But yeah, I mean, that right there, you make that catch, maybe get out of bounds or, call a timeout because I think we still had 2 or at least 1 left at this point. All of a sudden the game looks a whole lot different. 3rd and 5 on this one, second to last play of the game. Pay attention to D-Samp. He's actually going to come open out here in the flats. And there's only 12 seconds left whenever this ball is snapped. So yeah, a whole lot of time comes up off of the clock. So, Nico kind of had to try to throw it out here. But man, if he would have, and obviously at this point, his arm is already in motion. So we're seeing a whole lot more. Everyone's kind of going that way. But I think that if Nico could have just looked this thing off, and let me try to go back a little bit for you. If Nico, I would say, boom, 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 at about this point, right? And it's a lot harder to see because everything that he's doing is so quick. This guy, he kind of showed that he was going to be sticking with Decep, but this is why it's important just to kind of scan the field. He's going to look at this and he's going to learn, okay, wait a second. Some people were open. I've just got to scan more, scan more. And I think that he'll be able to hit this because, man, he could have dropped this right here. Maybe we can, I mean, maybe we score. I don't know, but probably not. But at least we get a little bit closer, make it a little bit more manageable for our offense. So these, again, these are just the growing pains of a young redshirt freshman quarterback. And last but not least, the final play of the game. You see the pressure is coming. That's coming from Lance Hurd's side. And boom, if you just pause it here, I mean, you can tell really no one's open. I mean, maybe Nico could have, I don't know if he's even past the line of scrimmage at this point. This is almost an impossible throw. I mean, for him to have been able to make this throw on the run would have been almost impossible. There's a guy here. There's a guy there. There's a guy there. Would have been very, very tough. This is the last play. Now, you would love for him to at least try to throw it up somewhere. And he said that the ball was kind of slipping out of his hand. He said he was looking for Chris Brazzell. Which I believe this right here might be Brazzell. Looks like Dante actually could have been a pretty good option. I think he probably could have hit this. I think that Nico probably could have hit that, y'all. But it would have been tough. Again, you love for him to at least give us some sort of a chance. But that's gonna be it for this one. I just wanted to kind of go through some of those plays, good and bad. There's a whole lot more good that I didn't go through. There's probably some more bad that I didn't go through either. But just to give y'all a little bit of a taste of basically how the entire game went for our offense, just wasn't great in several different layers. But hopefully, man, everyone will grow from this and we'll be better moving forward next week. But as always, y'all, please make sure to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. We'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.